Hey guys, this is David, and after about 2 years I'm back to our knife sharpening bootcamp series, and I'm excited about this one because with our Ultimate Survival Challenge training we do a little unit in there on knife sharpening, and the two biggest questions that I get from folks are, one, how do I sharpen a serrated edge like the ones that we find on knives like the Gerber LMF2 and various pocket knives? But really the number one question I get is, how do I sharpen a recurve blade on knives like the Serrated SCHF9? So in this video, we're going to talk about how to sharpen a recurve blade. And before we're all done, I'm going to give you a bonus tip at the end to show you how to use any stone in the field to sharpen a recurve blade. So stay tuned. Okay, let's first talk about the problem. When we have a standard knife edge, like we have on the Becker BK2 or the MSK1, it's really easy to use a standard sharpening stone like my DMT diamond stone and go ahead and sharpen our knife because we don't have a recurve here. But sharpening on a standard stone, a knife like the Serrated SCHF9 is a problem because with this recurve, this part of the blade never really makes contact with a flat stone. So to solve that problem, what we need to do is we need to use sharpening rods. Now this is a larger sharpening rod and it's designed specifically for this purpose. It can sharpen various different angles of blades very well if you know how to use one, and does a particularly good job with knives that have recurved blades like this. So we use this just like we would use a standard sharpening stone, except that with the rounded surface, we're going to be able to get into this recurve. So our sharpening would essentially be like this. We'll do 5-10 strokes on each side. Switch sides, do the same here. That's as simple as it is. This is a very fine grit diamond stone. This is a ceramic stone. This is for if you just want to go from really sharp to razor sharp. Ceramic stones, that's what they're made for. Now, so the big question I often get is, how do I know what angle to sharpen my knife at? So in my knife sharpening bootcamp video number 1, all I did is I took some scrap lumber, cut some wedges in my chop saw. This one's 23 degrees. I think this one's like 20 degrees, this little guy. And I showed you how to use a flat sharpening stone. Just lay the wedge down, lay your knife down, and there you go, you've got your sharpening angle. We can apply that same principle here using one of these rods. So all I did with this rod is I took a 20-degree smaller wedge and I used my electrical tape and I just taped it on. So if you're not secure about what angle to sharpen at, you can use the same technique, set it up on there, and there you go, you've got your angle already set. Now you're gonna have to play with the angle of your blade just to match it to your wedge cut. But once you get that, you can more accurately sharpen using a rod. There's some other tools that we can use that make things easy, like this Lansky Sharpener. The way this works is it has rods in here. We've got diamond rods on one side and we've got ceramic rods on the other. So if you need a medium mild hone, you're going to use your diamond rods. And these, if you can see here, this is set up to a 20-degree angle and a 25-degree angle. Most of your outdoor knives are going to be closer to 25 degrees. Smaller knives, pocket knives, may be closer to 20 degrees. For this example, we'll just use these 20-degree holes. And you can kind of see here, when we set these rods up, we've got one facing each way at 25 degrees. The way this works is we set it down on our flat surface and we just roughly approximate what perpendicular is. So this knife is straight up and down with the ground, and all we have to do now is use this motion to sharpen one side, keeping our knife roughly perpendicular. And then when we are ready to go to the other side, we do the same thing on the other side. If we want a finer, smaller angle, we can go with the 20 degrees. And if we just want a little touch-up hone to go from sharp to razor sharp, we can use these ceramic rods in this fashion, which I recommend. If you use the diamond rods first, then use your ceramic rods, and that'll give you a really, really nice fine hone. And there you go. That's one way to do it, and this is one of the easiest solutions for you if you don't know how to match your angles and you know you're close to a 25 or a 20 degree angle. This is a pocket sharpener. It's a pocket rod sharpener where the outer casing basically transforms into a handle. We can use the same technique that I showed you on the larger rods. Same deal. It's a lot more compact, fits right in a pocket or a pack. Some other solutions, Smith's Pocket Pal, which I generally don't like because of these pool sharpeners, but it does have this smaller rod here, which, especially with a smaller blade, you can use it. Larger blades, it's a little bit more difficult. And this is like a medium grit too. So it's really not fine enough for the kind of work we want to do to really bring a knife to razor sharp. But this Lansky sharpener has a little bit longer conical shaped rod. We can use that on the diamond end, but it has this nice ceramic end where we can get a finer edge in the end. You've seen this guy before. This is the Work Sharp knife and field sharpener. So on this, we've already got preset guides. We're not going to use that for this recurve blade. What we're going to use is the ceramic rod on the other side. So we've got this ceramic rod, and it can perform the same task as those larger rods. Plus, if we've got some standard knife blades in the field, like the BK2, we can just go ahead and use the fine, the medium, and the ceramic to really, really hone our standard blade knives really nice in the field. So here's our bonus tip. In the field, if you only have a standard sharpening stone, like this Smith's one with a fine and a medium grit stone, or something like this smoother, very fine whetstone, what you can do is you can just turn it at an angle like this, and you can still sharpen a recurve blade in the field with a standard stone by just using the edge. So it's going to look something like this. On one end, we'll go over to the other corner. So there's your bonus tip for sharpening any recurve blade in the field with a standard stone. So that's it. 5 ways to sharpen any recurve blade, and then one bonus tip on how to sharpen a recurve blade in the field with any sharpening stone. For links to all the gear that I used in this video, check the video description below. And for more videos on knife sharpening, check out my Knife Sharpening Bootcamp series. Thanks for watching.